eager to attend. Last year, they hadn't received an invitation. But this year was different. And for Pete's sake, Jenna, try not to look bored tonight. A lot of the AKAs and Deltas will be here. I know you aren't interested in joining a sorority, but I am. And I don't want them to get the wrong idea about me just because we're roommates. Jenna lifted a brow. And just what idea is that? That I'm a fuddy-duddy bookworm. I have plenty of time to buckle down and hit the books during senior year. Right now, I want to enjoy college life and make sure my future is set. Hopefully, I'll have good news for my parents when I go home for Christmas. Jenna knew from what Ellie had told her that her parents were the driving forces behind her finding a husband at college. According to Ellie, her parents had met that way at Howard years ago. Her father was a pharmacist and her mother was a school teacher. Ellie had also explained that although she didn't think her parents were in love or anything like that, the most important thing was that they were well suited for each other, which made things even better. Jenna couldn't understand why anyone would think that way, or why anyone would want their daughter to follow in their footsteps and enter a relationship so clinical and loveless. Jenna thought about her own parents. Neither had gone to college, but her father was proud of his job as a meat cutter, and her mother enjoyed working as a cook in the school's cafeteria. And as far as love was concerned, John and Jackie Haywood had plenty of it for each other, as well as for their 4 children. By the time Jenna and Ellie reached the building where the party was being held, a number of people were coming in and out, and others were hanging around outside talking and having what seemed to be a good time. There was no doubt in Jenna's mind that Ellie would enjoy herself tonight, but Jenna doubted that she would. Her mind would be preoccupied with thoughts of the test she would have in her history class on Monday. Because of this party, she would have to spend most of Sunday studying. As they entered the building, Jenna hoped that Ellie wasn't planning to stay too late. If so, then she wouldn't have any choice but to leave her here, although she didn't really want to do that. But Ellie was determined to be a part of the in crowd, no matter what it took. She and Ellie were 2 different people with 2 different sets of goals and ambitions. Jenna had accepted that and was fine with it. But she knew Ellie had a long way to go to accept her way of thinking and to understand that there were more important things in life besides husband hunting. Hey, how about if we ditch this party and go to my dorm and make out? Jenna smiled at Johnny Lane as he came to stand beside her just as her favorite song, Rainbow 65 by Gene Chandler, began playing. Johnny, 6'4", muscular with good dark looks, was one of the first persons she had met upon arriving at Howard and was a known flirt around campus. Sorry, Johnny, I have a headache, she said, grinning. I'm surprised to see you here, though. I thought you didn't do the fraternity thing. He shrugged. Normally I don't, but a man has to eat sometimes, and the food here is always good. He glanced around the room, then smirked at her. I see Princess Ellie was able to talk you into coming. Jenna shook her head. Johnny and Ellie didn't get along. In fact, they disliked each other intensely. Ellie claimed he lacked any kind of breeding and polish. On the other hand, Johnny thought Ellie was a snob. I didn't mind. Yeah, right, he said, grinning, knowing better. How you put up with her beats me. She's operating under the misconception that she's popular on campus, when in fact very few people actually like her. Jenna shrugged. Feeling loyalty to her roommate, she said, Ellie's okay. She just tries too hard at times. Johnny snorted. In trying to get people to like her, she somehow manages to get them not to like her. Jenna took a sip of her punch. She knew that in the beginning, Johnny had had a thing for Ellie. When she all but made him feel he wasn't worthy of her affections, whatever feelings he'd felt for her had turned into animosity. Jenny hated that because she considered both Johnny and Ellie her friends, and often found herself right smack in the middle of their fray. More than once, Ellie had tried making her choose sides, but she had refused to do so. As far as she was concerned, whatever Johnny and Ellie felt for each other didn't involve her. So is Lee still spending most of her time over at Noah's place? Jenna nodded. Lee was her other roommate who didn't get along with Ellie either. Instead of tolerating the situation like Jenna, Lee spent most of her time with her boyfriend, Noah Wainwright, who lived off campus. He was 3 years older than Lee and a law student. Can't say I blame Lee too much, Johnny was now.